Good afternoon everyone, and welcome back to my channel. I'm excited to share some behind-the-scenes details from our graduation project, Unutterable. We'll be diving into the filming process of two key conversation scenes, one set in a cozy coffee shop and the other at a pavilion. I'll talk about how we made decisions on visual elements, like framing, lighting, and composition, and how these choices helped bring out the mood and depth of these moments. But first, let me give you a brief introduction to the story of this short film. The plot revolves around a mother who, due to the emotional scars of her youth, decides to hide her cancer diagnosis from her daughter. When she finally chooses to confess, her health deteriorates to the point where she can no longer speak. Filled with grief and unanswered questions, the daughter travels to South Korea, where she uncovers her mother's untold story with the help of an old friend from her mother's past. The two scenes I've chosen essentially depict two conversations between the characters at different stages of the story. Let's start with the coffee shop. This was filmed in the afternoon, so we primarily relied on the venue's built-in pendant lights and natural daylight. To enhance the lighting, we added 2 additional lights for fill, while using black diffusion near the characters to soften the shadows on their faces. This helped create a comfortable and relaxed atmosphere for the conversation. This scene portrays the first meeting between the daughter and her mother's friend in South Korea. Its main purpose is to introduce key information at the beginning of the story without involving any intense emotional shifts. We kept the cinematography simple, relying mostly on conventional and reverse shot. One noteworthy aspect is that, to ensure the continuity of the actors' performances, we recorded the entire conversation between the two characters in one go during each take, capturing the footage without interruptions. Compared to the coffee shop, the pavilion sequence offers much more to discuss. Filmed at night, the final image still leans toward a darker tone, but we actually used a total of 4 lights to achieve this look. On both sides, we positioned lights to simulate the effect of streetlights, essential for enhancing visibility in the dark pavilion. Without these lights, the entire scene would lack sufficient visibility, obscuring key details. Additionally, we placed an Aputure LS60X behind each actor to create rim lighting, adding a subtle outline to their figures. To avoid their faces being too dark within the overall composition, we introduced a softened key light using an Aputure 600D paired with diffusion to gently illuminate their faces. These lighting choices helped maintain a balance between moodiness and clarity, ensuring both the emotional tone and visual accessibility of the scene. In terms of the storyline, this scene is positioned at the midpoint of the short film. Its purpose is to have the daughter open up emotionally and voice her inner thoughts, while also introducing new questions that propel the narrative forward. We took this into account during the design stage, opting for tighter framing to make the pavilion feel like an intimate space for sharing. Building on the earlier scenes, the daughter now trusts her mother's friend more, which is reflected in the reduced visual distance between the two characters. Their interactions here surpass the usual social boundaries and enter a more intimate realm. Compared to the open and public setting of the coffee shop, this private environment fosters a sense of closeness, making it easier for the characters to share their emotions. At this point, we can clearly outline one of the key principles behind our scene setup, using visual proximity to reflect the closeness of the characters' relationship. This principle significantly influenced the director's choice of shot sizes. For instance, aside from close-ups, most of the conversation shots in the coffee shop were standard medium or medium-close shots, often isolating each character in the frame. In contrast, the pavilion scene predominantly features close-ups that include parts of the other character's body within the frame. This subtle difference emphasizes the growing intimacy and connection between the characters as the story progresses. To sum up, as a short film with a generally subdued style, where the plot advances mainly through dialogue, we aim to use various visual elements to clearly differentiate the characters' relationships and the atmosphere of the scenes at different stages. This is my analysis of the two key scenes in our short film. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown and wish you a good day.